Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, all these folded edges are so you don't cut your hands, and to give it a bit of strength. So you won't cut your hands with all these rolled edges. And the other thing you might have noticed, it looks like there's an error there, but I had to mark this one on the other side where I put those saw cuts. If you look at my plan, see how this one here I've done in a highlighted line, because this line needed to be on this surface and all the other lines needed to be on the other surface. Okay, so I decided to use my little 8-inch machine. This machine, as you can see, it's an 8-inch shear, break and roll. So you can see you've got rollers here and you can do rounds and stuff. There's a little shear down the bottom here, and I'm using the brake at the moment. It's only a little machine. I think it was $199, but I use it about once a year, so I think I've got my money's worth out of it, but most people wouldn't buy one. But I don't know what you can see here, because if I do it left-handed, so you can sort of see what's going to happen. Yeah, I really can't do it one-handed, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. But it's actually been quite a good little machine. I actually am pleased with it. Alright, so you can see how the shear works now. And it works the rollers too. And so this is how the job is coming. My hands aren't really long enough, but you can see I haven't done that fold yet. So now all I've got to do is turn this 20mm fold down 90 degrees, and I've probably got to cut a piece of chipboard to fit in that space there and bend that edge over, and that's my plan. But it's getting dark. You can hear the crows now. Alright, see ya. Okay, so what I've got here, I've cut a piece of chipboard the right size, as you can see there, and I've got a piece of steel at the back here, just so I can whack it. Now, I don't know if you can see, I've got it a little bit below that line, because remember over here, because it was a wavy edge, I didn't start with a decent piece of material that had a wavy edge, and I've decided to fold this piece last. So I've cut that piece and we'll see how we go. I'm going to whack it with my hammer and my block of wood. So uru. Okay, so I'm about to do these last 3 bends. That inside isn't particularly important. It looks fucking horrible, doesn't it? Yes, look, I'll stand back a bit. It's all crooked in the vise and blah blah blah. But there is a method to my madness. That is along the line there, and I'm going to be pushing this that direction. So if you can imagine, it's going to be more like that. So yes, it looks fucking awful. You could argue I could have cut a bigger piece of wood, but I had to cut this down to fit it on the other side here. But I think it's going to work. So 3 more bends and it should be done. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, now I'm near my water tank now. Most houses in Australia have a water tank because we are the driest continent on earth. And as you can see, I have the rainwater that goes, I designed and built this. There's a silt trap there, and then that goes into this plastic tank, which later goes into the big concrete tank. And this supplies a water pump, electricity supply for the water pump and exterior light. But this is close to finish now. I haven't taken the protective film off, but if my arms are long enough, I think it's going to be something like that, and a couple of fixings, and initially I was going to put an L-shaped piece in here with a couple of pop rivets, but I seriously question. It's 1mm material, it's got 20mm folds, and it's going to be fixed here at the back, and at the end of the day it's only to keep a bit of rain off. So I seriously doubt that I'll do that, but that's the job as it's going at the moment. Okay, for there. Okay, so I'm in the other shed. I've got to drill some holes for that shroud to keep the water off the power point, and I was really after some stainless steel round head screws and I couldn't find any, but I have found, this is a Phillips head, I think it's called a pan head. It's flat, but it is galvanised. It's self-drilling, but I don't need that. Now these are marketed in Australia as 5mm. I measured as 4.8, which to me is 3/16. Now I've got some roll plug here. I was trying to think of the name of it. It's changed its name a few times. We tend to call it roll plug. And I've got this red stuff that's 6mm and the green stuff that is 7mm. I think this would be better with a 7mm, so I'll use green. And instead of drilling the holes, I've got my Chinese, and conveniently you can see the 3/16 is the one that's installed. Must be the most common size I use. I don't use this very often, but that was worth $20 or something. Thank God for China. So I'll go up and I'll punch some holes in that, and I'll use those screws and the green roll plug. So Uru. Alright viewers, we're up to vinegar strokes now. It's nearly finished. Alright, so what I've got, I'm just going to, I won't say unbox it, I'm going to peel off the clear protective layer, but I just thought I wanted to show you this product here that, well actually I'll turn around and talk to you. I talked to you earlier about that little press brake that I've got, a 3-in-1 little 8-inch machine, and it's a real good little machine. And I forgot to mention that you actually can do pans with it. It's an 8-inch wide pan brake, but there's the removable pieces. I think one's 5 inches, or is it 4? No, I think it's 4 inches, and I think there's a 2.5 and a 1.5 inch section, and they're removable, so you actually can make pans. Now that's probably, I wouldn't recommend that for your average shed, but this, I bought this first, and this is a really good thing. I think everyone should have one. You put it in your vise. Now I've got a good Dawn vise, so it depends on the quality of your vise. But you can see there's very strong magnets there, and this one is 5 inches. The only criticism I have, it's 2 inches and 2 inches and 1 inch, but these are removable sections, so you can do pans in it. I got this one from Jaycar, but they're Chinese and they come from all over the place. But I do recommend them. It's a real good thing to have in your shed, as long as you've got a good vise. If you've got a crappy vise, well, you're not going to do much. But a real good product. It wasn't cheap. I think it was about $60. But yeah, it is what it is. Now, if I can put you in the holder, I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see if you can see anything. Well, we'll try that. Now, I've never done this before, so we'll see how peeling this off goes. It tells me there's LDPE, which is low density polyethylene. Of course, in the workshop we often use high density actually there's that soft face hammer, remember? I made it. This is not coming off that well, but it should look a lot better. You can see a few marks where I had to bash the Christ out of it, but overall this can all go in the bin. I'll clean this all up later, but for a backyard job, I don't know what you can see. How does that look? Can you see anything there? That's looking half reasonable now. You can see what's going to happen, and that'll keep the rain off my PowerPoint and stop me having any problems. But I reckon in the scheme of things, that looks alright. I mean, I can tidy it up, and when you screw it to the wall, of course, the location of the screws will twist everything, but it's actually surprisingly rigid. And as a little job, I'm pretty pleased with that. And yeah, I used a bit of gear this time, but nothing that you couldn't really do in your own shed. So I'm going to say hooroo.